We're here with Deeohan Ferris, who is the president of Sustainable Communities Development Group. Thank you very much for joining us this morning.
Glad to be here.
Now, talk to me about the submission that you did for one of the sessions. It's called Technical Assistance for Rural Mayors. Speak specifically why they have such different challenges versus mayors of larger municipalities.
I'm glad to speak to that. We are in a partnership with US EPA, and that partnership funds us to provide green economy and sustainable development technical assistance with a particular emphasis on rural and small to medium-sized communities. The reason that rural and small to medium-sized communities are so important is because if we are going to make a seamless national transition to sustainability, we cannot leave our rural and smaller places behind. They require a specific type of emphasis because smaller economies are different, less resilient, and they require a great deal of assistance with technical issues and with developing programs that address sustainable development.
And what are some of the success stories that you can share from these smaller rural areas?
Well, there are a number of rural and small communities all around the United States that are struggling to create green, safe, healthy, and clean communities. The two examples that I would like to share today are the two mayors that we've brought to the conference, Mayor Terry Bellamy of Asheville, North Carolina, and Mayor Anise Liddell of Moss Point, Mississippi. There are two examples on each ends of the spectrum. Asheville is a mid-sized community of approximately 88,000 in a highly rural area of North Carolina. Moss Point, Mississippi is a coastal community in the state that was highly affected by Hurricanes Katrina and Rita. Both communities have become Brownfields champions. They've used environmental cleanup as a catalyst for economic development. They've provided cleaner and safer environments for people in their community as a result of availing themselves of a range of federal grants, the leading grant of which is the Brownfields Grant to redevelop their communities.
And you've developed your career around environmental issues. Speak specifically as to the Brownfields niche.
The Brownfields niche is about community and economic development. And as we know, if we are going to achieve sustainability in this nation, community and economic development and the built environment are integral components of that. Brownfields is one of those rare programs in government that facilitates sustainable community and economic development, and as such, it's a leading program.
Is there something that is not being talked about in regards to brownfields that we really need to get out there into the community?
Well, I don't know so much that we aren't talking about it as I'd like us to talk about it more and make some larger investments in funding rural and small communities and funding the work that they do in terms of redeveloping land, revitalizing properties, and putting them back into productive reuse. Larger communities have bigger pots of money to spend, and in this era of shrinking resources, those pots are certainly smaller, and we recognize that. On the rural and small community side, the pots are very, very small and highly competitive, and I'd like there to be more conversation, even in this era of shrinking resources, about how we are going to sustain our smaller communities so that they too can get on the path to green and healthy and safe communities.
Great. Deeohan Ferris, thank you so much for taking the time to speak with us.
I'm so glad to be here. Thank you.